Hello everyone, Dominic here from the British Esports Association, back with another stream, another interview for you with another special guest. Sorry for the slight delay on that stream there. I was waiting for a tweet to go out and there seems to be a delay from our social platform and the tweet actually going out. I wanted to retweet it and give time for people to join the stream as well. So our guest today is someone that has been a friend of the association for quite some time now, one of the first participants in the British Esports Championships for schools and colleges way back in our initial pilot in early 2018. So that's a while ago now, right? 2 and a bit years ago. And his name is Rob Catley, aka TooneXx, and he played for the Sunderland Sears and is now at the Bournemouth University League of Legends team. So we're going to be talking to him about that transition, what it's like, inspire you if you're a student to find out what it's like and so on. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Rob in now, and hopefully Rob's unmuted himself so you can hear us. Hello, Rob.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, doing all right, thanks.
Good. Well, thanks for joining us, Rob. And, I was saying off stream just before we started, it's good that we're still in touch. You've been one of the sort of close friends of the association, one of those early players, So to start with, Rob, tell us a bit about yourself, and how you got into esports.
Yeah, so my name's Robert. Call me Rob as well, or TooneXx. I don't mind. And 22. I played esports since the pilot from British Esports, and I played since till season 2.
Yeah.
Before I transitioned over to university esports.
Yeah.
And I started off in esports through a connection from one of my teachers who saw my desktop screen and saw that I played League. And when he saw the British Esports Association, they were offering a pilot for the tournament. And he invited me to help him try and make a team, which included myself. And it all started off from that.
So that's Gary, right? Was he your lecturer?
Yeah.
At the time?
He was a lecturer in visual effects, and he plays League himself, which is where I got the connection from, because we started talking about League of Legends, and then went off from there.
100%. And so if people watching don't know, but Gary Tibbett, he actually works for the British Esports Association now. He's one of my colleagues working on our BTEC qualifications with PSN and some other interesting initiatives we'll hopefully announce later on. And I can confirm he does play League of Legends. He's known on the team, Rob, as Gurgot. Gary Ergot, just because he plays Ergot. He's quite good with Ergot in our low elo. So yeah, he's become known as Gurgot. So there's a little fact for you. But so, going back, Rob, like I said, you've been there since the start of the British Esports Championships for schools and colleges, back in that initial pilot in early 2018. What was it like being a part of that from day one and representing Sunderland College with the Sunderland Sears?
It was crazy experience. It's just fantastic, because I never thought that I'd get into esports or anything like that, and then suddenly having the opportunity to actually represent some kind of organization and play for them and try your hardest to try and win and do them proud. And fantastic. It's really good.
And you did win, right? You guys won the pilot, if I'm not mistaken. Then you won season 1 of the first championships as well.
So the pilot was on the Twisted Tree Line, so it wasn't Summoner's Rift yet, but it was a good idea, because it meant, since there weren't as many teams back then, it meant there was a bit more room for the players. So we went through the pilot thinking, we might do well, we might not do well. We did surprise ourselves. We basically clean sweep. We didn't lose a single match until the very end in the finals, where it was I think it was a best of 3. We lost
Yeah.
one of the matches, and then we won the last two. So we did end up winning. And then after that, I think it was a year later then, or it was spring where we ended up going into season one. And
Yeah, and
I
you
think it was the same thing there, where we won most of the games, or all of them, if not all.
no, you did really well, really well, and then you went through to the finals. You know, the grand finals at Insomnia. So that was
Yeah.
like our first live finals for LAN, and unfortunately we didn't have that this year because of COVID. But I remember you saying, you know, you've described taking part in those finals as honestly the best moment in my life. You know, being able to play on stage, proudly representing Sears. And that's still your pinned tweet today, which is really nice to see. So talk us through the
Yeah.
emotions on the day, Rob, and what that was like.
Yeah, it all started off with us waking up about, I think it was 2, 3 in the morning. We had to travel all the way down from Sunderland down to Birmingham to come to the NEC. So we were all extremely tired, but definitely raring to go. We were just playing songs in the car and everything, getting ourselves hyped up for our big moment. And yeah, as soon as we got to the stage, we just couldn't believe it. We're just like, wow, we're actually here. We're ready to go. And then we just got all of our gear set up, and we were expecting it to be a longer period of time before we went in, and there was just suddenly like, wow, we're actually already playing, and crazy experience. Like a lot, you may see it from a lot of pros that say it on Twitter or anywhere else, that a lot of people will play completely different when they're playing on stage compared to when they're just playing in their own room. Like the atmosphere from the crowd and all that kind of excitement all just makes it like really a really big adrenaline rush. It's a fantastic experience.
How were the team as well? Was there like, I'm guessing there were nerves there because that's going to be completely normal. But you know, unfortunately, you lost to Farnborough Falcons on the day. But I thought the games were, you know, close. They were exciting to watch. You know, how did you reflect on that, and how did you feel as a team?
We were definitely expecting to beat them, but they did some roster changes after they lost to us. I don't know if it was season 1 or season 2. They lost to us, and they completely revamped the team where they had much stronger players.
Yeah.
And on the day, because we were just I think it was because of how tired we were. We made quite a lot of mistakes, such as like leaving up some of the one trick, some of the best champions, just leaving them up, letting them run rampant with their best champions on the day where it's the most important for them as well. While we were making a lot of mistakes with our champion picks and such, which I'm sure definitely had a pretty big impact on how the games went out.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing, right? Being able to review back and everything. I've just got some people in the chat. Someone's spam pinging Neo Tadris is hydrate. I've just hydrated. I'm not gonna drink like 20 cupfuls or whatever, 20 gulps of juice. But I just wanted to read out one here. Egbert has said, British Esports, how has your day been, Mr. Sacco? Yeah, it's been good, thank you. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I just want to say, Morgan, who usually manages the @British Esports Twitch, is on holiday at the moment. So, but we have Elliot in the chat as well, who produces a lot of our streams and one of our school and college liaison officers. So we are here. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm reading. I'm reading everything. So so thanks for that, Rob. And then for those people watching as well, I've got a picture of you here with your team. So I'll just bring that up on screen now, and you can see that's Gary on the left there, who was your lecturer and is now at British Esports. Chester King to the right of him, who's my boss, the founder of British Esports Association. Then you've got the team, and then Rob, you're in the middle, right? You've got one player to the right of you, and then you've got three players to your left. So you're picking your certificates up, and you looked happy as well. You know, even though
Yeah,
you'd lost. I mean, the fact that you got to the final, you were the second best team in that whole year in the country out of League of Legends college teams. That's something, right?
100%. Yeah, definitely, hands down.
Excellent. Okay. Right. Yeah, they're saying Liam Head, don't drown the man. Yeah, I'll have a few more gulps of my drink just to keep you happy.
Oh, my glass is sadly empty. I drank all my water already.
Yeah, it's hot as well. It's really hot at the moment, isn't it? And also, Rob, talking of that final, just before we chat about other things and move on to university sports and so on, I've got a clip which was one of your favourite plays from that championships final, right? So I'm just going to play this now for everyone.
Immediately, because they've got themselves the Mountain Drake on top of all the extra damage coming in from the Infernal as well. Surely the Seers need to try and contest this one, but TooneXx has already been caught out, trying to step his way towards the pit. Mundo just playing blocker at the moment, doing what he can to help the Baron go down as quickly as possible for his team. There's the flash, there's the dive in. TooneXx manages to steal the Baron. Now we've got ourselves a fight on the back of it. Can the Seers keep the Baron buff on anyone? Cog4 is already, Kha'Zix is already taken down by the Xerath. The four remaining members of the Seers are able to back away, but they get the big objective.
There we go. So that was the Baron steal that you successfully made as Kha'Zix, and I see that you play a lot of Kha'Zix, so that was good, and you know that kept you in the game at that point.
Yeah.
Talk us through that, Rob, because your team. I remember that. I can't remember if that was game 1 or game 2, but your team seemed to be struggling. That gave you a little bit of hope, right?
Game.
What was it like on voice comms and stuff at the time?
We were at that point beforehand. We were completely expecting to lose because we basically left open their Xerath one trick, and I think there was a Nunu as well one trick that we left open in the second game.
Yeah,
and it was a last second decision from Gary where he said just go for it when I was trying to think what to pick in Champion Select, and he said just pick Kha'Zix because he's one of my strongest champions, especially now later on.
Yeah.
But we thought, oh wow, we've actually got a chance of turning this game around after that fight, because we did end up, everyone else got out. I obviously didn't. I kind of went all in for it. I think it was we held on for about 10-15 more minutes before it just ended up all crumbling down after one team fight. But we definitely tried our best. It was just we're just not fully awake for it as such.
Yeah, well, that's a challenge, right? Getting up at 2-3 in the morning. That's going to be an extra challenge. But you did good, and like I say, it was a very fun final to watch. I've leapt ahead in some of my other questions. Going back, League of Legends. Obviously, I'm a jungler as well. I like playing League of Legends, not quite as high elo as you are. But tell us a bit about that and how you got into it and why you decided to play that competitively over other games.
Oof, League of Legends. I started off playing in Season 2. It was literally just I got invited by another friend of mine that I played a different game with, who said, "Hey, why don't we just go check out this game that I've been playing for a bit and I really enjoy it." And as soon as I got into what was the introduction game? Introduction tutorial. I think it was
the tutorial in League of Legends where you're
Ash. In ARAM. Yeah, it was with Ash and ARAM. And as soon as I saw the visuals, because back then the visuals for any kind of game wasn't really that great, and for back then ARAM looked absolutely amazing for the graphics, and I was just hooked after that. I just kept on playing, and since then League of Legends has been the game that I'll play. I guess you could say like 85 to 90% of the time. I generally don't touch other games. And I didn't really play seriously until I think it was around about Season 7 or Season 6 where I started really trying to get good at the game, because beforehand I was just playing with my general friend group from school back then. So I was getting trying to see if I could get coaching and that kind of thing, just to really try and push myself to get as good as I can get. Since my friends were surprised, since they played from before even Season 2, and I was not doing as well as them till I think it was like season 5 or something. And then I started passing them in rank, and they were like, "Wow, you should maybe try get some coaching or something. And then you can really try and push yourself to get even further." Which I managed to do because I think I was hard stuck gold for a really long time until I just jumped to diamond for a couple seasons, and then this season I peaked at diamond 1 promos.
Yeah. No problem. I'm just going to respond to Neo Tadgis, who said, "When's Overwatch?" We this stream is mainly, interviewing Rob. Well, it is interviewing Rob, who's a League of Legends player. We may have something later in the month for Overwatch, so watch this space, because obviously Overwatch is one of the games that are in our championships for colleges and schools as well, as is Rocket League. So you mentioned Elo there, Rob. So you peaked at Diamond 1. I mean, that's pretty good for a college level player. There are some people at that Elo playing in sort of amateur leagues, beyond collegiate esports.
Yeah.
What you were saying to me off stream, you found it a bit hard this season because it's been a weird season in League of Legends. There's been a few changes and things like that, and for me in my low elo, I find it's very coin flippy.
Yeah, definitely, especially as when you're playing as a jungler, because you're basically playing as the nanny, just having to run around and just make sure you help everyone. Trying to help everyone at the same time is pretty difficult.
What is it about that role? Because I watch League videos a lot on YouTube, and I saw LS, the well-known coach, talking the other day, and he recommended low elo players not to play jungle because he recommended people do play in lanes. Because for one of the reasons you said, you're not babysitting other people. You're more in control of your lane, winning lane, learning wave control and all that stuff. For me, I like jungle. I like ganks. I play a lot of Evelyn, as you used to, which is like a stealth champion. Yeah. What is it about jungle that you like?
I think the main reason was because it was the only role all my friends didn't want to play, so I ended up just slotting in. But in the end, it's just because it's not like lanes where you're fully focused. Not saying jungle you don't have to fully focus all the time, but there's just relaxing moments when when you're killing all the jungle camps instead of always having to focus on the enemy laners. So it's a lot more relaxing, but at the same time, you feel all that what's the wording? All that pressure to just make sure that everyone is doing okay in all their lanes, and if you'd make one single decision that's completely wrong for the game, then you can just lose the game off that.
Yeah.
So it's both challenging, but at the same time also a lot more relaxing.
Yeah, I agree with that, Rob. Now, moving on. Oh, yeah, okay, so a bit on League before we move on to university stuff. Who is your favourite champion and why? Is it Kha'Zix?
Yeah, definitely. Used to be Evelyn, but after she got nerfed quite a bit, she did get buffed recently again, but because of the general meta, Kha'Zix was just a lot more fitting for me, because he just completely fits my playstyle.
Yeah, I find I'm usually not very good with assassin champions, but I like Evelyn. But I know I'm in lower elo, much lower elo than you. But one thing I find is that it's tough in a late. If you get to the late game with Evelyn and the enemy team's bunched as 5, I find that quite hard to play into that. I like picking off people one by one around the map.
Yeah.
Kha'Zix, is he better in team fights?
That's the thing with Kha'Zix. He has, because of his different evolutions that you can do, you can just change how you're playing just purely by the evolves. So, for example, with W, if you evolve W, you're much more useful for team fights, and you're basically just focusing on the backline, but at the same time you can help out with slowing different targets for your team.
Godfist, thanks for tuning in, Godfist Jambo. They've said, I feel uni esports is really underrated at the moment, and on that note, let's get into the uni stuff. So you're at Bournemouth University now, which is another thing we have in common because I studied there many moons ago, and you're representing Bournemouth Uni in the NUL and NSE League of Legends tournaments, right, for the Bournemouth Uni Esports Society. So what's that like? Tell us a bit about playing for them.
It's definitely a different experience. They're both really good experiences, but I think one of the problems with NUL and NSC is just there's the quantity of teams. There's just no scouting as such. It's more of a last minute. Oh look, okay, I think they play this and this. We should maybe ban this and this, instead of having that that pre-planning of hours of just going, okay, we know that this is the kind of playstyle they do since we look at the VODs. But with NUR and C, it's a lot more just getting thrown in and just having to do what you can with the information you have at hand.
How have you guys done in those two tournaments? You know, and tell us a bit about your team as well. Are there any shout-outs you want to make?
We were doing all right. One of the biggest issues is we had really bad management in our society, where we had people that were on their last year before leaving university, which meant they didn't have as much time at hand to do all the organization, which meant we joined the annual NSE. I think it was 2 weeks late, which meant we got penalized for quite a lot of points, which caused us automatically to not be able to get higher than top 16. Yeah. So we did manage to get top 16 in both the winter and spring split. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing in a way, because we did beat the team that managed to get first place in the end. But there was nothing we could do about it. We couldn't really get high placement, but definitely gonna improve on that next year, since we're going to get new management.
So when you say new management, is that coaches, or is that like the people behind the Esports Society at Bournemouth Uni?
It's the students behind the society. So say the president, the treasurer, and all the different heads of the society.
No problem. What's it like taking part in the NUL and NSC tournaments? You know, is there one that you do better in than the other, or is it a challenge to manage two separate things?
It is definitely a challenge, but at the same time, it is a bit interesting, because most of the teams that participate in one will also participate in the other. So you get to kind of have another go at playing against them, because normally you don't play against the same team twice.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the NUL seems to be a lot more challenging than the NSC, since the NSC is a lot younger as a tournament compared to the NUL.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
What kind of... Because, you know, historically in the UK, you've had some people from the uni leagues branch into, like, the amateur stuff. Like, in League of Legends, you've got the UKLC, UKEL, and all of that. And I know players like Kerberos have gone from uni. He was at the University of Warwick and ended up in various teams. I think he joined the Unicorns of Love Academy team at some point. Do you ever see players that you think, wow, they're really good, they might go on?
Yeah, we definitely saw from the same university, from Warwick. Yeah, they had some incredible players, really talented. So it's kind of a good thing, because then we get to play against people that are better than us and then learn from them as well.
What's it like, Rob? The sort of like the relationship between the different teams. Is there a lot of banter or silliness that happens, or is it quite like respectable? Do you get BMing and things?
You do get a lot of BMing, especially when emotes got introduced. There's just a lot more a lot more spamming than British Esports, where we were a lot more reserved with that kind of thing, a lot more respectable, which is it's better, definitely. Because I think sometimes people try and use the emotes and that kind of thing just to tilt the other team as a tactic, rather than playing completely fair. But it's definitely a different experience. It's a lot more laid back, but at the same time, it's a bit. Now and then there is a toxic environment, but it's not too bad.
Okay, and one thing I really wanted to ask you as well, Rob, because like you're one of the first people that's played at a college level in esports, and you've moved to university esports. What's that transition been like? Has there been much of a jump? Like, are there any major differences that you found difficult, or how has it differed?
I think one of the biggest differences is the people behind all of the organizing, where in university we're having to organize everything ourselves, say practice or who even is playing on the team themselves. Um, while on in college, it's a lot easier because there was someone else there helping you out. So, for example, for us, it was Gary, who's also plays a lot of League himself, so he knows what who's good and who's bad without it being a case of maybe some random teacher who hasn't played League at all and doesn't know what's going on and who's good or bad.
Yeah, because I did think that you might get some teachers, no disrespect to them in colleges and universities, that aren't sure and just sort of leave all the team management to the actual teams, and try and get them to discuss all of that stuff. But it's really nice when you do see the teachers getting involved, closely involved, and taking an interest in the game as well. Those ones seem to do better.
Yeah, it's especially interesting with when they know what's going on and they actually play the game themselves, and it's just a different interaction compared to the day-to-day schooling where it's it's something where you've I guess for some students also where there's actually something they're really, really interested in.
Absolutely. Okay, right. Well, we're whizzing through these questions. One thing I wanted to ask Rob, and this is like, I guess, to do with the current situation, how lockdown has changed the esports environment at a university level, and studying online. It must have been hard missing out on the social element as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, group chats and everything, they're all just raring to get back to normal where we can all interact with each other and help each other out with uni work or, just hang around, play some board games or that kind of thing. But with everything that's going on, the main thing that everyone's been doing is just getting back into video games and that kind of thing, even those that don't normally have the opportunity to do so. But now with all the coursework being online, that means they have the opportunity to just go instantly to their computer because they're already on it, compared to having to go to and fro from university to their apartment or wherever they're living.
What about the esports side of things? Has it changed much under lockdown, or is it not changed? Do you just play from your room, your respective houses?
The surprising thing is it hasn't really changed that much. The only issue is just the amount of players that can play, because obviously some students may be in a situation where they don't have access to a computer anymore or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which was one of the issues we had with Bournemouth, where we had I think it was probably like 80% or something that either were too busy with university work since the uni work got changed to a version where they can do it online rather than having to be hands-on there. And it just meant we couldn't even make a team ourselves for summer split, which was a shame because it was our last opportunity to then play with those players before most of them headed off from uni, because I think there's 3 of our players on the main team that they're in their final year. So we're basically having to hope that next year, when it comes to freshers, that we can get a lot of new students interested in joining the teams.
Yeah. Godfist Jambo said UKEL for League has been the best thing for uni students to play competitively. And it has been good, hasn't it? I don't know if you follow the UKEL. It's sort of like the lower tier of that amateur semi-pro level in UK League of Legends. But that's a great starting point, isn't it? For people at uni level who are pushing themselves and, want to try and go pro or whatever else, just want to explore playing against other players beyond the student level. Do you watch that much, Rob?
Not as much as, say, I watch the pro leagues like LCS or LEC, since I support TSM and XL. But yeah, I've not really watched too much. I probably should watch a bit more from them.
No problem. We've got a raised XEM said, I remember back at a LAN at Kettering 17 years ago. The LANs have been going a while in the UK. And obviously you've been to Insomnia, Rob, but I remember when they've had it at different locations and things. I miss LAN. I want lockdown over with now, so we can, obviously when it's safe to do so, go back to LANs, because I think the social side of things is so important,
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, because I mean, playing on stage, for example, being able to actually see who you're playing against, it's a completely different experience compared to just playing from home and just not knowing who you're playing against. It's definitely much more exciting and more fun just looking over, seeing how they react to certain plays or whatever.
I think people can be different in person as well. I tend to see in esports, a lot of banter and BMing and things like that online only. Then when you meet people in real life, they're usually not the same.
Yeah, a lot more respectable.
Yeah, you can tell a lot about someone's character from what they do online and then what they do in person as well. But I quite like seeing that dynamic in esports. I wanted to ask you, Rob, just coming towards the end, what do you think of the British Esports Association? Because again, you've been there since the start. What are your views on what we do, or what you'd like to see us do in the future?
Just amazed from the first time I met you guys. I mean, talking to you on even talking to you on Messenger, on Twitter, and just generally just talking about League of Legends, or just talking about different things that are going on, different opportunities. Like, for example, being able to even just do video editing for you guys was also a pretty fun experience. And it's a general really good gateway to getting into esports if you want to. Even if you're not the best of players, you can still manage to get onto one of your college teams and really have a go. Even if it's just for fun, you can just play for fun as well. That's fine. It's fantastic. It's a complete gateway for me to be able to start getting into this. It's definitely a dream come true.
Well, that's very kind words, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Rob, because for anyone watching who's interested, we will hopefully have some more volunteer positions crop up for our upcoming championships in September, October this year. So for 2020 and 2021, keep an eye peeled on our social channels, and our website, britishesports.org, and hopefully there'll be some updates in the next few weeks, so that should be exciting. And Rob, as well, got a bone to pick with you as well, because I saw you make a meme of me during my cookery stream the other week.
Sorry about that one.
No, it's good, I'm only joking. No, it's good. I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, that was a sort of fun one-off thing that we experimented with. Cookery seems to be, it's funny timing as well, because cookery streams seem to be doing quite well at the moment. There's various people in esports doing them, and I'm not a great cook, but I think that's why it made for quite funny content, so hopefully we'll do some more of those in the future. So if you have any suggestions, let me know.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, cool. Well, look, Rob, I've come towards the end of my questions here. Usually these interviews, I like to keep them to an hour. We're 40 minutes in. Is there anything else you want to add, Rob? Anything I might have missed about your time at Collegiate University Esports? Anything that's going on at the moment, or any shout-outs you want to give?
Not really too much I can think of at the moment, actually.
Is your team, is that going to change from September? Because like you said, 3 are going to be graduating, right?
Yeah, well, one of the big issues we had with management at our university was they weren't 100% committed on focusing on it, because they didn't really have the time, which meant we had our players all mixed around, where we didn't have all the 5 best players on the main team, and then having it delegated till, let's say, the 3rd team and such. But with the new management, since I've been really in talks with them, we're looking to get that kind of system changed, so it's more of a competitive team in the 1st team, and say the 2nd team maybe a little less competitive, and then will it down till it's just the players that are just looking to have some more fun.
Yeah, and just on to end, I forgot to ask if anyone in the chat has questions, legitimate questions, not mucking about being silly. Then I'm happy to pass them to Rob. And while people think about that, Rob, maybe you can tell us any like funny memories or standout moments playing League of Legends over the years. I mean, in solo queue, I've got various memories, but maybe you've got any particular memories you want to share around solo queue or being part of a college or uni team.
I think one of the things as soon as you get into college or university team is normally you just you just end up getting extremely competitive in the game itself, in a sense of looking each other up on say for example for League of Legends op.gg, just looking each other up and just goading them on in your private chats, just saying, hey, look, I've just passed you in rank. What are you going to do about it? And then just trying to just surpass each other, which is a good thing, because then we just end up, trying a lot harder to improve ourselves.
Yeah, no problem. Neo Tadris has asked, how does one get into the industry? I guess for me, it's about getting experience, whether that's volunteering or finding a part-time role or anything like that. Checking sites like Hitmarker for jobs. And just getting your foot in the door. But I don't know if you can answer that one, Rob, because you're still a student, right?
Yeah, but I mean, one way you could do it is doing a similar thing to what I did, which is when you're at college and you've got a group of friends that really want to play, and you can just go ask your teachers and see if you can join the British Esports tournaments. In whichever game you want to compete in, and off that you can create relationships in, say, the British Esports Association, and get connections where you can start, getting into other kind of jobs you want to get into for in the esports industry.
Cool. And Egbert has asked, do you prefer a solo queue or scrim environment in LoL?
Definitely a scrim environment. There's no doubt about that. Especially with recent times with COVID and everything going on. I'm not sure if that's what's causing it, but there's a lot more toxicity in solo queue and flex queue, which obviously doesn't make it as fun of an experience compared to, say, scrims, where you are trying to improve, but at the same time you're playing with friends and you're playing against people who are also going to play respectfully and not exactly just gonna type in all chat something that you're not really gonna like.
I've got a question here from Erased XEM. Thoughts on Diabotical? I think that's a FPS game that's come out. Do you have thoughts? Do you enjoy FPSs, Rob, or is it not your kind of thing?
I've dabbled in things like CS:GO and stuff, but I seem to prefer going to things like MMOs and that kind of thing. I did get into a new game as well that's similar to Rust. That's the kind of like environment I like as well, where it's you basically just try to avoid all the toxicity that comes with playing against random people, just playing survival games and that kind of thing with friends. It's more enjoyable getaway experience from playing League for too long.
This is a thing, right? With back in the day, and I'm considered old in esports, in my mid-30s, but back in the day, video games for me were an escape from real life, from schoolwork and everything else, and it was just a fun escape, almost like reading a good book, whereas now with esports, it's such a pressurized environment and so competitive, you need something to switch off, go jump back into the real world to switch off. It's weird how that's reversed.
Yeah,
for me.
It is weird. Like I'll find myself just going, oh, okay, I've had enough of trying in this game. When games are originally made to have fun, but it ends up being a case where you're just looking to play a different game so you can actually have some fun. Or I'll end up finding myself just listening to Audible or just reading a book instead, just to have a bit of a break.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a good book. I know I've asked it already, Rob, but I think that's everything. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I can't really think of anything else. I think we've gone through quite a bit.
No problem. Well, Rob, listen, thanks very much for your time. Good luck at uni, going into your second year. Good luck on the climb in solo queue. I know it has been a tricky time in solo queue in League of Legends, and you're always welcome to to join us on panels and things in the future.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Maybe you can mentor, future students coming through in school, college, and give them some guidance or something. I love the idea of mentoring. We don't currently do that at British Esports as such, but I'd love to do that in the future. So I'll definitely bear you in mind if you're interested.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Cool. All right, Rob. Well, thanks very much. I will see you soon, mate. I'll just talk to the stream for a couple of minutes about a few things we're doing, and all the best. I'll catch you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, Rob.
Cheers.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks very much for watching that. We're up to about 3/4 of an hour, so it's a good length for an interview. Thank you for watching, and I hope you support Rob and his university team at Bournemouth University. Just a quick rundown of upcoming streams. We've got Fun Friday, 4 p.m. this Friday, with our regular host, Mr. Elliot Bond, who's our school and college liaison officer. Elliot does loads of fun things on that stream. It's a very chilled community stream. He does marbles races with the chat. Got a quiz, which is always fun to take part in. And there's a cool thing that Elliot's going to be running through this Friday, which you should check out. May or may not involve a community challenge for you guys to get involved in, so do check that out and find out what that is. And then next Wednesday, we haven't announced this on socials yet, but something I've wanted to do for a while is a stream on mental health, awareness and importance of mental health, and I'll be joined by Chris Paget from Sheridan's, who also has his own charity, Milestone, I believe, so that's going to be good. I may be joined by a couple of other panellists as well. That's next Wednesday at 4 p.m. And then stay tuned for more announcements around our streams this month. We're trying to do 2 streams a week at least, so we'll keep you up to date there. And I think that's everything. Like I say, watch this space for some announcements coming out from British Esports, because we will be looking for volunteers, and there'll be lots of ways for you to get involved with the association and do things that Rob has done, which can open doors in the industry, and set yourself apart if you are looking for a job in esports. We're always happy to help people. I think that's everything. Neo Tadris said, can there be a community thing sometime where you allow people to play? That is this Friday, Neo Tadris. We have that every Friday at 4 p.m. Elliot hosts those streams. You can get involved with marbles and other games. Elliot sometimes plays other games. I know that in the streaming world, Fall Guys seems to be doing quite well at the moment, so we maybe can explore that in the future. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and that's it from me. Sacco signing out for now. And I'll do a 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 and I'll Sorry about that. Right, I'm going to do a raid on someone. That's what I was going to say. Sorry for that echo if you heard it there.
Fly Audible and try